A wise man once said, if you want a car that goes anywhere, you buy a Land Rover. But if you want a car that also comes back from there, you buy a Land Cruiser. Hello MotorBeamers, welcome to the world of the Toyota Land Cruiser J300. So here's a close look at the LC300. It is a धमाकेदार SUV. क्या दिखती है, क्या road presence है? It is big in size. It is 4985 millimeters long, 1980 millimeters wide, and 1945 millimeters tall. Here's a look at the sequential indicators and the LED lights of this car. The massive grill इतनी बड़ी कि इसमें छोटी गाड़ी fit हो जाएगी. And of course the Toyota logo standing bright over here. There's the front camera, and this is the face of the J300 Land Cruiser, which looks like a beast for sure. Here's a look at the bumper. This is the ZX variant. In India, we get only the ZX variant. The lower variants are not for sale, and we get only the 5-seater variant, not the 7-seater variant, unlike the ones which is sold globally. So here's a look at the bumper of the Land Cruiser. Big car. It is based on the GAF platform, which is a new platform derived from the TNGA architecture. And compared to the LC200, this one is 200 kgs lighter. Yeah, the weight has been reduced, and you get these big 20-inch tires. 265, 55, 20 is the size of the tires, and the alloys look nice and blingy. They have a very chunky design, and here's a close look at the tires. टायर्स देख लिए. What are your thoughts on the design? कैसी लगती है आपको ये compared to the German SUVs that we see, X7, GLS, Q7, even the Range Rover series? उनके comparison में what do you think about this in terms of design? Let us know in the comment section below. मैं आपको तब तक exterior का थोड़ा और glimpse दे देता हूँ. So from the side, the design is very plain and simple. ज़्यादा कुछ इसमें fancy नहीं है, ज़्यादा lines, cuts and creases नहीं. Very very simple design, but एक थिंग श्योर है कि गाड़ी बहुत बड़ी है. साइड से आप देखोगे आपको दिख जाएगा. इट इज मैसिव. एवरीथिंग इज बिग. द डोर्स आर बिग, द हैंडल्स आर बिग, इवन द फुट स्टेप्स आर बिग, इवन द ओआरवीएम्स आर बिग. द ओआरवीएम्स आर हीटेड, तो बारिश में आपको वो टेंशन नहीं आएगा. दिस इज द की ऑफ द कार, जो इनोवा और फॉर्च्यून के साथ शेयर की जाती है. ऑब्वियसली इसमें पीछे लैंड क्रूजर लिखा है, बट द डिजाइन एंड द फंडामेंटल्स ऑफ द की रिमेन द सेम. दिस कार इज अवेलेबल इन मल्टीपल कलर्स: सुपर व्हाइट, पर्ल व्हाइट, डार्क रेड, डार्क ब्लू, ब्लैक, एंड इंटीरियर में आपको बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस मिल जाते हैं. लेट्स ओपन द इंजन बे फर्स्ट. मैं आपको इंटीरियर दिखा दूंगा थोड़ी देर में. फर्स्ट वील टॉक अबाउट द इंजन. सो ऑफ कोर्स दिस कार हैज अ बिग bonnet, a heavy bonnet. So we have opened the bonnet of this car. Obviously it has hydraulic struts, 2 of them actually, because again it is a big one. And यहाँ पे आपको insulation proper मिल जाता है. And this is the neat engine bay of this car. In India, this is offered only with a 3.3 liter V6 diesel, making 300 horsepower and 700 Newton meters. No petrol in India, no V8 also this time. The previous Land Cruisers were known for their fantastic V8 engines. इसमें आपको आइजन का 10 स्पीड ऑटोमेटिक गियरबॉक्स मिल जाता है, विच इज अ टॉर्क कन्वर्टर. लेट्स शट द बॉनेट एंड हैव अ लुक एट द एक्सटीरियर. एक्सटीरियर पूरा खत्म कर लेते हैं, देन वील मूव ऑन टू द कैबिन ऑफ दिस कार. एक एक फीचर मैं आपको दिखा दूंगा, एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स वी विल टेक दिस कार फॉर अ स्पिन. सो साइड से हम लोग ने देख लिया, कार इज मैसिव इन साइज. हियर्स अनदर लुक एट द व्हील आर्चेस एंड द गैप बिटवीन द व्हील्स एंड ऑफ कोर्स द बॉडी ऑफ द कार. यहाँ से आप देख लीजिए क्लोज लुक. लैडर फ्रेम फॉर द विन. Amazing SUV. I was actually waiting really long to drive this and check this out in detail. Auto Expo पे देखी थी, but not on the road. So here's a look at the taillights of the car, sequential indicators, and you get the Land Cruiser badging over here with the Toyota logo. This car we have sourced from AutoBest Empirio. They have a massive collection of premium cars of all types, all body segments. तो आपको अगर कोई लेनी है, you can get in touch with them. Here's a look at the roof of the car. Again, the rear is also not very fancy, simple है design, boxy design है for sure. And this car has a big fuel tank capacity of 110 liters. तो यहाँ से इसमें obviously डीजल की आपको स्टिकरिंग मिल जाती है, but 110 liters is massive. Add blue भी आप यहीं से fill कर सकते हैं. And now what I'm going to do is open the boot of this car. So as I mentioned before, globally you get 5-seater and 7-seater options. India में सिर्फ 5-seater मिल जाता है. Let's open the powered tailgate, and this is coming up. So this car has beige interiors. यहाँ पे आपको नॉर्मल बटन मिल जाता है टू लॉक द टेल गेट और जस्ट शट इट. एंड दिस इज द बूट ऑफ द कार. ऑब्वियसली दिस वन डज नॉट हैव थर्ड रो सीट बेल्ट्स का प्रोविजनिंग ऑल्सो, बिकॉज वो ऑप्शन ही नहीं है अवेलेबल इंडिया में. हियर्स अ चार्जिंग सॉकेट, तो यू कैन चार्ज योर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेज व्हेन यू गो रोड ट्रिपिंग इन दिस कार, विच आई एम श्योर अ लॉट ऑफ यू आर गोइंग टू डू व्हेन यू बाय दिस big SUV. This is the boot space of the car. Lot of space to store luggage, and you get a folding parcel tray, the roll-up parcel tray basically. And इसको हमने बंद कर दिया. Now it is time to check out the interiors. Time to now show you the interior of the LC300. इट इज़ अ मैसिव कैबिन. गाड़ी इतनी बड़ी है, बाहर से अंदर से भी कितनी बड़ी है आप देख लीजिए. मैसिव कैबिन एंड यू गेट 3 इंटीरियर कलर ऑप्शंस. यू गेट बेज, यू गेट ब्लैक एंड यू गेट ब्लैक एंड रेड. तो पहले इसमें बैठ जाते. देयर इज अ नाइस फुट स्टेप ओवर हियर. यहाँ पे आपको हैंडल मिल जाता है. यू क्लाइम इनसाइड द कार. दिस इज द व्यू ऐसा आप देख सकते हैं. एंड वी जस्ट गेट इनसाइड द कैबिन ऑफ दिस कार. तो गाड़ी के अंदर तो बैठ गए. काफ़ी प्लेजेंट और ब्राइट यहाँ पे वाइब आपको मिल रही है. एंड लेट्स स्टार्ट द इंजन. This same button is shared with the Toyota Fortuner. When you start the car, the steering comes back to the same position that you had set it in earlier. And यहाँ पे गाड़ी start हो चुकी है. Lot of buttons, massive center console, auto dimming RVM obviously आपको मिल जाता है. But first have a look at the dashboard of this car. काफ़ी सुंदर डैशबोर्ड है, वेरी ब्यूटीफुली मेड. एंड यू नो एवरीथिंग फील्स टिपिकल टोयोटा. सो नथिंग वेरी फैंसी, नथिंग वेरी एक्स्ट्रा वेगेंट. लेकिन जो टोयोटा से आप एक्सपेक्ट करते हो ड्यूरेबिलिटी के हिसाब से, लॉन्ग लास्टिंगनेस के हिसाब से, ऑल दैट इज देयर. दिस इज द स्क्रीन. यू गेट अ 10.25 इंच स्क्रीन ओवर. एंड इसमें आपको 14 JBL स्पीकर्स मिलते हैं. यू गेट 14 JBL स्पीकर्स. यू गेट 4 क्लाइमेट कंट्रोल विद दिस कार. यहाँ पे पैसेंजर के लिए मिलता है, ड्राइवर के लिए मिलता है. एंड 2 क्लाइमेट कंट्रोल सेटिंग्स फॉर द रियर पैसेंजर्स. And you get heated and ventilation function in all 4 seats. So ventilation off कर दिए मैंने. There's a heating function also here. I'll just show it to you. And even the steering wheel has this heated function. In fact, even the ORVMs have a heating function. So we'll come back to the steering wheel of this car. You can have a look how nicely this is made. You get some wooden inserts over here, a lot of leather wrap obviously. So again, typical Toyota fashion, everything feels durable. जो फिट एंड फिनिश है वो लॉन्ग लास्टिंगनेस के हिसाब से बनाई है. रोबस्ट है काफ़ी इंटीरियर इसका. एंड दीज आर द वॉल्यूम एंड यू नो ऑडियो सिस्टम कंट्रोल्स. दीज आर द क्रूज कंट्रोल बटन्स ओवर हियर. यहाँ पे आपको बेसिक सा इंस्ट्रूमेंट क्लस्टर मिल जाता है. जस्ट शो इट टू यू. सो एनालॉग टैकोमीटर, analog speedometer. You can have a look at the fuel gauge over here, the temperature gauge. Beach mein you get this MID which shows a lot of information related to the drive of the car. And coming back to the touch screen, we'll just use this for a while. So this is how the interface of the screen looks like. So a lot of things over here. This is the inbuilt navigation. The clarity of the screen could be better, the resolution could be better. Stock Toyota है तो इसमें यही आता है. Crista, Fortuner, Welfare, we have seen this in all Toyota cars. You can have a look at the climate control buttons over here. यहाँ पे आपको दूसरे functions में दिखा देता हूँ. This is for the seat heating and ventilation function. This is for the audio controls. This is again for the trip details. And we'll go back. यहाँ पे आपको ड्राइव मोड्स के हिसाब से डिस्प्ले मिल जाता है. So the car has 6 different driving modes. I'll just show them also to you in a bit. So this is the drive mode button over here and you can select the different modes through this knob over here. तो इसको घुमाएंगे and we can toggle through the different modes. You get eco mode, comfort mode, normal mode, sport S mode and sport S plus mode. So that's what it. There's a custom mode also. एंड इसमें आप कस्टमाइज बेसिकली करा सकते हैं हाउ यू वांट द कार टू बिहेव एंड डिलीवर द परफॉर्मेंस. सो दैट्स अबाउट इट ऑन द इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑन द इंफरटेनमेंट फ्रंट. एंड हियर्स अ लुक एट द बटन्स वेयर. कितने सारे बटन्स है. दीज आर फॉर द ऑडियो कंट्रोल्स. अगेन typical Toyota fashion. A lot of manufacturers are actually skipping all these things, but Toyota is offering, which is actually a good thing for people who like the tactile feel of these buttons. यहाँ पे AC के सब controls आप देख सकते हैं. These are the off-road buttons basically, and यहाँ पे भी आपको off-road oriented सब buttons और controls मिल जाते हैं. Of course, the Land Cruiser is available only in the ZX variant in India, but globally you also get a lower variant with lesser features, lesser electronics, but again a more off-road oriented feel. So I think that one looks better also because उसमें वो ज़्यादा blinginess नहीं होती. That looks simple actually. This one has a lot of bling, and if a customer is paying so much money, obviously he would want bling, right? So these are the off-road controls over here. Auto hold, EPB, and 2 massive cup holders. Even the gear knob is quite big in size. This is the wireless charging port, and यहाँ पे आपको armrest मिल जाता है. This is also a dual layer armrest. Top portion and lower portion you can have a look. यहाँ पे you get these cabin lights. आप देख सकते हैं. एंड again the sunroof is there. There is no panoramic sunroof on this car. There's a normal size sunroof. You can have a look at this over here. And coming to the driver side visor, you get a light over here and a mirror. इसको बंद कर देते हैं. And the same thing for the front passenger also. There are some speakers over here. So basically this car has 14 JBL speakers. And let's open this armrest. This armrest is also massive in size. इतना बड़ा है. यहाँ पे आपको बहुत storage area मिल जाता है. You can remove this tray and you can have a look at the storage area over here. This is obviously a cooled box because यहाँ पे आपको इसका कंट्रोल मिल जाता है. We'll shut it because अभी कूल करने के लिए कुछ है नहीं हमारे पास. And you can have a look at the massive front seat. Seat is so big. ये जो base इसका इतना wide है. There is a massive amount of under thigh support. So that is not an issue. Space is not an issue in this car at all. Massive amount of space in the car. The shape of the seat is very nice. Long drives के लिए suited है. Even for the soft ride quality that this car offers on our bad roads in India. ये seat में आप बैठोगे आपको आराम मिलेगा अलग level का. The headrest is big in size. Safety की अगर हम बात करें, you get the usual safety kit. 10 airbags, ABS with EBD, traction control, downhill assist control, vehicle stability management. All of these features are offered with the Land Cruiser. You get ISOFIX child seat mounts also for the rear seats, and there's a multi-terrain view also. So let's figure a way to have a look at that. And actually one thing I noticed, this car also has a CD player. Wow, who uses CDs in 2023? But Toyota thinks we do, so वो लोगों ने CD player भी दिया है. Let's have a look at the reverse camera quality of this car. ये है रिवर्स कैमरा. यू गेट अ टॉप व्यू ओवर हियर, और इसका डिस्प्ले आप चेंज कर सकते हैं प्रेसिंग दिस बटन ओवर हियर. सो यू गेट अ व्यू ऑफ व्हाट्स अराउंड द कार. द कैमरा क्वालिटी इज ओके इन टिपिकल टोयोटा क्वालिटी. ज़्यादा फैंसी इसमें आपको नहीं मिलता जो जर्मन कार्स में आपको मिल जाता है, बट वही है कि टोयोटा में ये जो चीज़ें होती है वो ऐसी ही होती है. एंड वील मूव दिस बैक टू पी एंड चेक दिस आउट. तो इसको हम लोग एक्सपांड कर लेते हैं, एंड यू गेट दिस डिस्प्ले ओवर विच शोज हाउ मच ब्रेक एंड एक्सेलेरेटर इनपुट्स हैव बीन प्रोवाइडेड बाय द ड्राइवर. अभी मैं ब्रेक पेडल को ज़रा भी प्रेस नहीं किया. आई जस्ट प्रेस द ब्रेक पेडल एंड यू कैन हैव अ लुक एट द डिस्प्ले गो अप. एंड नाउ वी जस्ट रेव द कार अ बिट एंड यू कैन सी दिस. सो ये हो गया. आई थिंक आई हैव शोन यू द dashboard of the car a fair bit. Let's move on to the rear seat now. This car doesn't have a third row configuration. Basically a third row is offered on the global model of the Land Cruiser LC300, but on the Indian model you get only one single configuration on sale, ZX 5-seater. That's about it. You don't get the lower variant, you don't get the 7-seater option. So third row के लिए मतलब वो जो boot का area है that is always completely empty. And that's about it. यहाँ पे आ जाते हैं. So यहाँ पे you get these usual controls on the door pad. You can have a look at the power window switches. Again, some of the switches do remind you of the switches on the Innova Krista and the Fortuner. You get 3 memory functions over here, some dummy buttons over here, and you get the traction control off button and the boot opening button, and of course the bonnet opening lever and the fuel flap opener are located over here. Lots of soft touch materials definitely in the cabin of the Land Cruiser LC300. Quality तो मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी. Of course not in the same league as the big Germans because they are more focused on sophistication. Toyota is more focused on tough nature of the SUV. तो यहाँ पे वो आपको थोड़ी फील मिल जाती है. Old school vibe इसमें आपको मिल जाती है Land Cruiser LC300 में. But again the feel of the car is definitely very nice. You can have a look at the driving position and this curve on the bonnet over here. Amazing driving position. You get a very nice view and in fact you sit so high up कि आपको मतलब बाकी गाड़ियों की roof दिखाई देती है. This mirror is big in size. The ORVMs are quite big in size and you get a very nice view of what's around the car definitely for sure. तो चलिए, we are done with the dashboard of the LC300. We'll move on to the rear seat experience now. So this is the rear seat of the LC300. I'll show you the door pad first. You get this JBL tweeter over here, some wooden insert on the door pad, power window switch, door handle, and this is the bottle holder. यहाँ पे आपको प्लास्टिक की फील मिलती है, but यहाँ पे Toyota has made use of soft touch materials also. So this feels nice. And the seat again, just like the front seat, is quite big in size. 3 adjustable headrests. You get a proper 3-point seat belt for the middle passenger also. Even the armrest is quite wide and big, and you get 2 cup holders. ये आपको वापस करके दिखाता हूँ. You get 2 cup holders over here. There's this entertainment package, and let's get into the seat now. So again, you use this handle over here. See, इसको पैर पे रखा, and you get inside this. So I am now sitting in the rear seat of the LC300. Wow, look at this AC control panel over here. As I said, this car has 4-zone climate control. तो आपको 2 zone पीछे मिल जाते हैं, dual zone at the back, and I've set it at low for the left passenger, 21 for the right passenger. This is how you increase or decrease the blower speed. This is how you toggle the ventilation or heated function of the rear seat. And यहाँ पे there's a whole lot of charging ports, 2 USB ports. There's a 12-volt port and there's an HDMI port. You get these headphone ports and you also get these volume knobs for the entertainment package over here. I'll just zoom out and you get these two screens. यहाँ पे आपको light मिल जाती है and you get AC vents over here also, and these massive grab handles to get inside the car and to get outside the car. Here's a look at the dashboard. यहाँ से आपको clear view मिलेगा कैसा लगता है इसका dashboard. I think it looks fab. बहुत ही अच्छी डिज़ाइन है डैशबोर्ड की. AC vents again at the top over here, and आपको दूसरा एक व्यू दे देता हूँ रियर सीट का. So this is how the rear seat of the LC300 feels like. Space is okay in this car. So I am 6 feet tall. You can have a look how comfortable I am over here. Headroom to hai more than enough. The seat is also wide, so 3 people can sit here comfortably for sure. Knee room could be slightly better. ये seat को मैंने काफ़ी पीछे slide किया है because of shooting. So of course that can be improved. The rear seat can be of course reclined, but unfortunately it cannot be slid back and forth. I don't know how and why Toyota skipped on this feature, but वो होना चाहिए था इसमें. That Toyota is not offering on the LC300. तो ये सीन है, and I think I've shown you enough about the interior. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. What I'll do now is get on the driver's seat again and take this car for a spin. Finally, time to drive the Toyota Land Cruiser J300. क्या feel है ये गाड़ी की. It is big in size. आपको मतलब काफ़ी time लग जाता है to get used to the size of the car. You can have a look at the driving position. Bonnet एकदम बड़ी है, आपको अच्छा view मिल जाता है यहाँ पे. And the car is actually really wide, and people actually make space for you when you drive this car on the highway. City में भी लोग ऐसे हट जाते हैं आसानी से. So I am having a blast driving this car. मैंने थोड़ी देर सुबह भी चलाई before the shoot, and amazing feel this car has definitely. The ride quality is so soft. इसमें मतलब जो sharp होते हैं ना portals वो आपको थोड़े feel होंगे, लेकिन the car actually wafts through everything. आसानी से सब कुछ tackle कर लेती है, and the passenger, the boss man, the family, the wife, the kids, everyone will be so comfortable in this car, and definitely that is a nice thing. Performance is also very good. So in India you get a diesel engine option only. There is no petrol offered, and this is a 3.3 liter V6 diesel engine which is also shared with the Lexus LX500D. So this one makes around 300 horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque. The peak horsepower output comes in at 4000 RPM, and the peak torque is delivered from 1600 to 2600 RPM. So engine is quite nice, very responsive, and definitely it feels suited to the nature of this SUV. But a V8 is always a V8. The previous LCs used to have a V8 engine also, and that was again mind blowing. But ये भी काफी बड़े engine है. Good fun definitely. Engine is a little clattery because वो diesel engine की इसमें feel आपको आएगी ही. Globally, the Land Cruiser 300 is also offered with a petrol engine. That is a 3.5 liter V6 naturally aspirated petrol engine making 415 horsepower and 650 Newton meters. इंडिया में आपको petrol engine का option नहीं मिलता. Taking turns in this car is again a little tricky because गाड़ी इतनी बड़ी है, लेकिन the good part is कि आपको बाहर बहुत बढ़िया visibility मिल जाती है. The windows are big in size, the windscreens are big, and mirrors also are quite big in size. तो बाहर की visibility आपको बहुत बढ़िया मिल जाती है इसमें. But once you get used to it, I think ये गाड़ी अगर आप चलाओगे, you won't feel like driving any other car. Any other normal SUV will actually feel like a toy, and the compact SUVs that we see today, they will actually feel like स्केल मॉडल्स ऑफ टॉयज. वो तो इतनी छोटी होती है, इतनी डेलिकेट होती है. ये तो लॉन्ग लास्टिंग टफ ड्यूरेबल है. ये गाड़ी आप कहीं भी लेके जाओ, मज़ा आ जाएगा. इट विल आउटलास्ट यू एंड योर फैमिली एंड योर every generation also. So this LC300 has different driving modes. Right now I'm driving the car in eco mode. Let's try the comfort mode. Okay, in this the engine feels a little more responsive. Let's see how is the ride. Ride should be the same, more or less the same only. The speed breakers are a little stiff over here. Ride is more or less the same in normal mode. Again, the engine feels a little more, even more responsive. And we'll now get into sport mode. So all of these modes can be toggled through this mode selector over here. There's a 10-speed automatic with this car, which is sourced from Aisin. So this is a torque converter. Smooth gearbox, again not one of the quickest around, but smoother gearbox definitely. And the car picks up pace very nicely in sport mode. It holds onto the revs much longer so that you get this extra power surge when you need it. तो वो तो है काफ़ी अच्छा इसमें, and definitely it feels very nice to drive around. Ride quality मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी. Of course there is a massive amount of body roll in this car. एक टर्न कॉर्नर सब कुछ आपको इसमें फील होगा, but again that is the nature of such cars, right? या तो आपको स्टिफ राइड मिलेगी, कम बॉडी रोल मिलेगा, एंड you'll have a more driver oriented car, or you'll have something which is more comfort oriented like this LC over here with a higher amount of body roll. I'll prefer this, to be very honest. तो ये हो गया बेसिक आइडिया अबाउट द ड्राइविंग एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ द LC300. देयर इज एन S+ मोड ऑल्सो. डेफिनेटली कार इज amazing to drive. इसकी जो road presence है that is unbeatable. We are back to normal mode now because this car is for sale. We don't want to drive it too much, but somehow if I had almost 3 crore lying around in my bank account right now, I would buy this car in a jiffy for sure. अलग ही vibe है. Cars like the SUVs like the Defender, G-Wagon, LC, all of these have a very very different kind of vibe. तो मज़ा तो आता है चलाने में. I'm trying to take a U-turn here, and you can see I'm super careful. The steering is not very heavy. I think Fortuner से comparable है the weight of the steering. But I'll tell you a fun fact. Compared to the previous generation Land Cruiser, the J300, this one is 200 kgs lighter because of course Toyota has made use of the new platform which is derived from the TNGA platform. This is the GAF platform derived from the TNGA platform. So ये गाड़ी 200 kgs lighter है compared to the previous generation, and it still has better build quality, better high strength steel materials also. It has no issue in picking up speeds. Stability is amazing. Body movement आपको feel होगी being a Toyota SUV. That is the characteristics. But I guess that's about it. Very comfortable car. Once you get the hang of it, you won't feel like letting it go for sure. So yes, amazing experience definitely driving the LC300. So should you buy the LC300? I think you definitely should. अगर आपको लगता है कि आपका पर्पस ये बड़ी गाड़ी सॉल्व कर लेती है. Now the thing is that a Land Cruiser is always like a Nokia 3310. Not very exciting, but it does its job amazingly well. आप गाड़ी को टफ बोल सकते हो, रिलायबल बोल सकते हो, लॉन्ग लास्टिंग बोल सकते हो, रगेड बोल सकते हो, just like the Nokia 3310. If you throw something at a Nokia 3310, the thing will break, but nothing will happen to the phone. Similarly, a Land Cruiser is something which can, probably outlast generations of your family. कुछ नहीं होता गाड़ी को, and it is worth the premium for sure. So this particular car we got from AutoBest Emporio in New Delhi. They have a wide collection of used cars across different price bands and segments. तो अगर आपको ये गाड़ी लेनी है और you want to see some other car in their collection, you can contact the dealership at the number given below. या तो आप वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में उनका एड्रेस और वेबसाइट भी देख सकते हैं. So that's about it from my side. कैसी लगी आपको LC300? बताएं मुझे नीचे कमेंट सेक्शन में.